You know what I mean? And so I wonder if, who's a good example of someone? You know, would we give SZA as much respect as we do if she behaved the way Cardi B did? And by behave, again, I'm not trying to attack Cardi B for her speech style and the way she carries herself, because at the end of the day, what Cardi B is saying too in her defense, and I know that I'm like championing what Azalea is saying a lot, but in Cardi B's defense also, she's saying, this is who I am. This is truly who I believe I am. And I've never faked it. I've been this way from the beginning until now. And you can either like it or you don't, but I've never changed who I was. This is who I am. So I don't really understand, I guess, why Azealia Banks is trying to say Cardi needs to like take grammar classes and Cardi B needs to start speaking in full sentences and use punctuation marks, when Cardi B has from the beginning, and I think that you've said this in the past too, Char, when Cardi B has said from the beginning, that's just not my style. Yeah. However, what does Cardi B represent to the larger narrative of Black women in society? I was talking to Charlene about audiences and how, like, if I say Shade Room, I think you have an image of like who we're talking about. When I say Shade Room audience, Shade Room commenters, you obviously think predominantly Black people, people in the culture, whatever. But then if I was to contrast that to maybe Jimmy Fallon's audience, it's more mixed, like more like you have a little more racial diversity, but it's a predominantly white audience, I believe. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was so interesting to see how the public, society, the world, responded to Cardi B's character, Cardi B's personality. So in the Shade Room, Cardi B can be pregnant at Coachella, twerking, sticking her tongue out, and everyone's like, yes, Cardi B, get it, live your life. And then Cardi B goes on Jimmy Fallon and is saying, oh, whatever. And everyone in the comments is like, I'm like, who is this girl? I'm so confused. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is Cardi B is someone we understand as a part of Black culture. Like she understands, sorry, not that she understands, but we understand her. Everyone else doesn't. Azalea is concerned about, okay, if we're thinking about the audience outside of the Shade Room, if we're focused on the audience outside of the Black community, what are they thinking about Black women when they look at someone like Cardi B? She is amazing being herself, but little Black girls should not look up to her. Cardi will probably even say there are better ways to make it, but glad she is not fake. I agree with you. Hey, Natalie Jones.
Natalie Jones is in the building. Hey, girl. Hey.
I completely am with you, Ryan. I think that I agree. And that's one thing, too, if I'm defending Cardi again, because I want to be fair. I don't want to say that I'm picking one over the other. But Cardi B does openly say, I don't want to be anybody's role model.
However, I think let's delve deeper into that ideology.
How can you not, like, you don't want to be a, hold on. Guys, please, like, humor me for a second. You don't want to be a role model, but you want to be a celebrity that makes millions and
you want us to support you.
You want us to support you. So, like, you want the support, but you don't want the responsibility that comes with that support. That's hard for me to digest.
People want the fame. They want people to do what they love and whatever, but they don't. Like, life takes a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, life is not all roses and sunshines and whatever. Like, if you want the platform, you have to take everything with the platform. Life comes with positive and they comes with negatives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was going to say, let's delve into that ideology of just like Cardi's being herself. She's doing what she wants to do. In life, the problem is nobody has standards. We promote this culture of let's just do what we want to do when we want to do it. And no one wants to hold themselves to any type of standard that people are looking up to you. Hey, yes, this girl is honest about being a stripper. Yay, you're so cool for being honest. But just because you're honest about smoking weed, just because you're honest about doing drugs, doesn't mean it's good. Should I praise you for your honesty in your foolishness?
Yeah.
And again, no judging and saying that this is foolishness. I'm just using it as an example. But if someone is shooting up heroin. I think we can all say that heroin is not the best.
Yeah.
Oh, at least they're honest about heroin. Do you, boo-boo? You're honest about your heroin.
Yeah.
No, like, it's not good. Just because you're being...
Hold on, because Natalie asked a good question. She said,
sorry.
Is it a responsibility, though?
Is it
is being a role, is being... Now, are you trying to say that by default, if someone is a celebrity, it doesn't automatically make them a role model? Or is it... or does it become your responsibility to be this moral, good person?
Yes.
If you're a celebrity.
I have a great answer for you, Natalie Jones, and whoever else. Someone said yes. I think it is your responsibility. I read a book. I don't know where the book is here
right
somewhere.
Here.
This is good. There is a book that I'm reading. If you guys don't know the book, you should
take it to all screens. Take it to all screens.
All screens here. All screens. All screen. The book is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep. Okay, did I get it? Did I hear it from this book?
Maybe
I heard it from Will Smith.
He just promoted this book.
It's still a good book. The analogy, there is, sorry, let me just bring it together here. Basically, Will Smith was saying that there's a difference between fault and responsibility. If you're at your house and someone rings your doorbell and you open the door and you see a baby on your doorstep.
Natalie said, great book.
Yes. It's a good book, right? Natalie read it? Yeah. It is, if there's a random baby on your doorstep, a crying baby on your door, helpless baby on your doorstep, somebody has left it there. It is not your fault that it is there. You didn't ask for the baby, but now it is your responsibility as to what you're going to do with this baby. If this baby dies outside, if you leave it to die, guess what? You're getting arrested because you saw that there was a baby on your doorstep and you done nothing. There is consequence for you saying, I'm not a role model and I don't care. You need to care. I challenge you to care. So yes, you didn't ask for this level of fame, Carter. You didn't ask for this. You didn't ask to be a role model, but you are one. So now it is your responsibility as to what you do with that. And if you choose not to pick up the baby, then I don't respect you.
Because I think Natalie brings up a good point. They should. They should what, Nat? Because Cardi B, as I said earlier, she doesn't want to be anybody's role model.
But you are.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think that you are a role model because at the end of the day, little girls specifically, but people in general, but like young people are listening to your songs. Everybody was saying a little, you can't, like, you know, like everyone knew that at least that part.
And if you're just doing this for yourself, then I really want to challenge the selfishness that comes with saying, I don't want to be a role model.
Yeah. So Natalie said, I think responsibility is a matter of what you should do. I agree with that.
Yeah, what you should do. That's what I'm saying. So yes, Cardi, of course you can do whatever you want, right? Cardi could say, I don't want to be a role model. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I don't care, Azalea. I don't care about being representation for Black women.
Yeah.
However, now, so then it's our decision to say, hey, I don't support you, Cardi, because you're being very selfish with the platform that God has given you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think
unpopular opinion.
What was my thought to that? My thought is, I think that Cardi needs to stop. And that's the thing, is like she's running away from these issues that are chasing you down, issues that chase you down when you become a celebrity. Like, you can't run away from people challenging you on your light skin privilege, Cardi. It's there. We see your pictures. You're light skinned. Azalea Banks is saying, I'm dark skinned and I know that I haven't made, well, you know, and Azalea Banks, again, is problematic, but she's saying, because people are darker skinned in life, they don't get to move as far as people who are, let's say, light skinned. So Natalie says, but the purpose of her fame is to make money and be known. What happens after that, she probably feels isn't on her.
Thank you so much, Ariana. Sorry.
Well, hey, Ariana. I think you make a good point, Natalie. I think that I think all celebrities aim to not be influencers. You know, I don't think that they want to be influential on like the people
all
that
artists aim for that.
No, I think they don't. I think they aim for fame. I think they aim for success, whether it be financial success or like being recognized on the street success. But I don't know of any celebrity that said, I want to be an artist. I want to be a musician. I want to be a painter. I want to be a creative so that I can change the world and be an influencer.
Thank you for sharing my video, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. And I think that's the difference between celebrities and the Kanye West. But that's a different story or a different topic for a different day.
Yes.
But I think, yeah, like Kanye wants to be an influencer. He wants to be like that person that influences people. Whereas I think Cardi B just wanted to make it. But I think that as music listeners, as a society, we need to decide whether we want to hold celebrities accountable for their actions. Let me give it to you a different way. Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks, the two black men walked into the Starbucks in America somewhere and they didn't buy anything. They wanted to use the bathroom. They said, you can't use the bathroom. And then was it that a white male came in after? No, that's another thing. I'm mixing two different stories up. Anyways, they called the police because they thought they were loitering. Police come, arrest them. What does the CEO of Starbucks do? He flies down to where they're at. He meets them. He shuts down Starbucks all across the country for an afternoon to do racial sensitivity training. Okay, if the Starbucks CEO didn't do that, if Starbucks as a corporation didn't respond appropriately in that manner, though people could argue that they could have done more, but I digress, right? If he didn't do that, wouldn't we all be like ready to, not all of us, but wouldn't most people be ready to like boycott Starbucks and say, Starbucks is done, they don't care about black people, you guys are arresting people, what's the point in that kind of thing? We don't want to support this no more. We hold corporate social responsibility for corporations. We expect them to do stuff when something bad happens. We don't just turn a blind eye on Starbucks because of that incident where the two black men were arrested. We don't turn a blind eye on, what's that airplane where they drag the doctor? I forget what they're called.
Oh, United
Airlines. We didn't turn a blind eye. We said, we expect you to do something because there's a problem. Now, it's a different context because Cardi hasn't actually done anything wrong. But I would argue that she kind of has done something wrong in that she's not acknowledging her light skin privilege. This is not the first time it's come up. And just to remind everyone what we're talking about, it was posed to us, like, what is our thoughts on the current Cardi B, Azalea Banks beef? Or not beef, but back and forth.
Netflix. That's the goal. We better be better than Netflix.
Jay, that's so nice.
Netflix and chill with us. Pause. Don't do that. But this is your Netflix. Virtual chill.
Yeah.
I forgot my thought I was gonna say.
So yeah, the example of like United Airlines where Starbucks is different because obviously people in their company did something wrong and they were held, but they were held to a level of accountability. Like we expected them to do something about it, you know? And so my thing is, if I'm looking at Cardi B is no longer just an individual. Cardi B is a brand. Cardi B is a network of people. She has a team behind her. Cardi B is now more than one person. And so when I think Cardi B, I no longer think of Cardi B, the individual. I think of Cardi B, who is pregnant, who has a publicist, a manager, who has been booked for shows that she's thus canceled because of her pregnancy, who goes on talk shows, who has influence, who has millions of followers. And so my thing is, Cardi B should be held, just like any other celebrity should be held, to a level of responsibility for their social status in life. We can look at the millionaire who's a CEO of a company and say, you need to do better about this situation. Well, then we can look at Cardi B and expect her to do better on another situation, which is acknowledge your light skin privilege.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge that maybe in some small part you do set Black women backwards in the way that you act. I just feel like everybody wants to be so progressive and forward thinking and tolerant, yet we're still tolerating behaviors like Cardi B. Isn't that kind of backwards? Or
it's completely backwards. And everybody that's agreeing with Azalea Banks in the comments, and I hope this is not, I mean, there's nothing wrong with agreeing, but all those people that are agreeing with Azalea Banks, I hope you guys are not doing the most to support Cardi. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you cannot be supporting the way she's acting and then turn around and say, but you need to do better, Cardi. Like, you joke too much. You play too much. Like, nah, like, you guys elevated her to that point completely.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Hey, Bree. Oh my gosh, we're passionate. This is so funny. Charlene's sister is outside and can hear us yelling from down the street outside.
Again,
we're talking about Cardi B versus Azealia Banks. What are your thoughts?
Again, I want to say, someone dropped a baby on your doorstep. It is now your responsibility.
Yeah.
Cardi, there's a baby on your doorstep.
Yeah.
Open the door and take the baby in.
Yeah.
See what it wants.
Yeah.
See what's wrong. Take a listen. Attend to the baby.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore and say, well, I didn't ask to be a mom. I didn't ask to be responsible for this baby. I understand that, but in light of recent events, there's a baby on your doorstep. Acknowledge it.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think celebrities can run away from the responsibility of being an influencer. You're an influencer. That's why stylists send you clothes. That's why you partner with Cardi B. In Cardi B's case, Fashion Nova. You have a line coming out. Let me see what Bree said, because she's very intelligent. I think people dismiss Azealia Banks' opinions because she's Azealia Banks.
Yeah.
When in reality, she makes a lot of valid points.
And that sucks, right?
Yes, Bree for the win.
It sucks because, I mean, again, not that we agree with Kanye.
Yeah, we don't agree with
but
Kanye.
Sometimes we don't want to listen to that person's opinion because it's who it is. Like, Kanye, he's just talking crazy.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Forget Kanye.
Hospitalized? Like, on those drugs? Like,
he's hospitalized because nobody wants to listen to him and it makes him go crazy.
It makes him feel crazy, go crazy. When in reality, yeah, Bree, I totally agree with that.
Because of Banks and notorious past with the media, people don't take her seriously. Exactly.
People don't take Azealia Banks seriously. And again, let me just reiterate, like, Azealia Banks is flawed. She's a problematic individual. Like, don't get me wrong. She's like sacrificing animals in her closet, in her house.
See,
she's bleaching her skin, though she said she had a skin condition. So we have to give her a pass.
Mm-hmm. And Cardi, guess what? That's a sacrifice you have to make because of your outlandish personality.
Yeah,
you do that personality, or you express that personality, whatever. I get you're being you, whatever, but it's at the expense of people might not take you seriously in life. If you want to go on Jimmy Fallon, is it Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon go, then people are not about to take you seriously in life. You made the conscious choice to act a fool on that show.
That is such a good point, because let me tell you, like, and that's what the comments were coming off. And again,
chicken heads.
Yeah, chicken head, bacon head.
Yeah, bacon head.
When she was on Jimmy Fallon, she was deeply misunderstood. Like, people in the comments were just like, what is this? Like, this is not funny.
But even I watched it, I was like, Cardi, you could have done a little better. Like, you're acting like you don't know how to talk.
Yeah, and I mean, she did say she was very nervous.
And she jokes around more when she's nervous.
She says people have that personality type where they get more jokey. Hey, sis.
Who's it?
Jennifer is on my live. Azealia Banks is incredibly intelligent, though. Obviously, she does a crazy amount of trolling and problematic-ish. They don't take her seriously. Yes, Bree, you're absolutely right. Hey, sis.
And it's a cry wolf situation.
It is a cry wolf situation.
You need to be mindful of the things that you say. If you want to be taken seriously, you need to move seriously in life, or people aren't going to take you seriously.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so, let me just repeat this again for all of those that are joining. Hey, Jenny. So this is the other Jenny.
Well, people are talking on my Facebook. I didn't even see. I'm sorry. What are we talking about here? Sacrificing animals, Sebastian.
Yes. Yeah, she sacrificed animals.
Live. Azealia Banks apparently sacrificing animals. Hey, Julianne James.
Julianne, woo!
I'm going back and forth between YouTube on this computer, so I'm not ignoring the comments. I'm just trying to navigate.
And so again, like, Azealia Banks to me is problematic. Cardi B to me is also problematic. Are they both equally problematic? I don't know if I would say equally.
Cardi and Azealia?
Yeah. Equally? I think that given Azealia Banks' history, I would say that she's more problematic than Cardi B.
But is she problematic just because she has an unpopular opinion?
But you know what? It's
true.
Or is it
because she's sacrificing animals?
You know what? There's layers. There's layers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that. Okay, that's true. That's a good point. But I would say, for me personally, I just don't like the way Azealia Banks goes about directing her opinions. Like, I think that there are nicer, and even if not nicer, there are more. Who's leaving?
Hen Benry.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny. What was I saying?
Sorry.
Azealia Banks is problematic because of the way she goes about.
Everybody drop comments.
Yeah, you guys please share your opinion, share your thoughts. So we're just answering a question about what we feel is going on or how we feel about Azealia Banks versus Cardi B. So anyways, I'm rambling, and I'm not getting my thought out. Azealia Banks is problematic because of the way she goes about calling people out. However, half the time she's right about the way in which she calls people, not the way in which, but what she says to people.
Did I tell you a story? Anyway,
Danny?
Here we go. Yeah. Remember I said my friend at work, with my old work, I says, here we go. Was it you that did that?
Yeah.
Remember, I told her that story, Danny.
Bye.
Hey, Rachel. Here we go.
Yeah. So that's Azealia Banks' only downfall. Whereas Cardi B, again, like we're talking about 2018. Ebony! Hey,
we're talking about Cardi B and Azealia Banks.
We're talking about the dispute because you guys will not.
Please feel free to chime in on opinion.
Yeah. And plug podcast coming June 2018.
June 20 next month. We recorded our podcast.
Podcast coming next month. But anyway,
you can definitely be a guest one day. We want guests.
We
definitely want guests.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Opinions. Yeah, we already have a couple people in mind.
You're confused, Sebastian. Let me inform you. So,
what are you confused about? That is the question.
Yeah, what are you confused about?
We're talking about Azealia Banks and Cardi B's dispute.
They're talking about racism, colorism, the Black community.
Yeah. We're talking about colorism, we're talking about privilege, and we're also talking about whether or not celebrities carry a responsibility of being role models.
Yeah. So
because one thing that Cardi B is basically saying is that I'm not a role model. I didn't sign up to be a role model. I don't want to be anybody's role model. But whatever you guys think about me, you can't put on me. But we're saying baby on the porch.
We're using the baby on the porch analogy. I'll repeat it for the new people. I heard this from Will Smith. I did not make this up. If you walk outside your doorstep right now and there is a baby on your porch, it is not your fault that there's a baby on your porch, but there is a baby on your porch. So now it becomes your responsibility, whether you like it or not. Yeah. If this baby freezes outside in the cold because you didn't pick up this baby, you are probably going to go to jail for manslaughter.
What's up?
Why? Because the baby is now your responsibility. I use this as an analogy for celebrities because you may not want to be a role model, but you are a role model. Just like the baby just is on your doorstep. You have to assume responsibility. That's just what you have to do. And if you don't want to, then you have to suffer the consequence of not wanting to be that role model.
You have to suffer the consequences of not being that role model. And the consequences are people calling you out for not wanting to take up that responsibility.
Exactly.
You can't fault people for calling you out, Cardi B. So let me finish my thought. You can't run away from people. I'm going to get to your question, Levi. Yeah. You can't. Hey, we're talking about Azealia Banks versus Cardi B and like where we stand on the issue. You can't walk away from people calling you out for your light skin privilege and for the fact that you are a role model and that there are certain ways that you have to respond to people. And I don't think Azealia Banks is wrong in saying that Cardi B sets us as women, but specifically as Black women, backwards in the way that she behaves. It's 2018, as I was saying before. We want to be progressive. We want to be forward thinking. We want to be tolerant of all these things. We have all these expectations of how we have to be more civilized and more classy with the clapbacks and more nuanced in the way that we speak. Yet we can tolerate someone like Cardi B, who I think has never been funny to me. But I mean, people tolerate her.
Oh, sorry, Jay, you were talking. I couldn't see. Do you guys believe that if a person is viewed as likable in the public eye, that it distracts people from errors in their character? Pause on that question. Not a pause, but a pause on that question. Hello, ladies. Question. If one prescribes to the idea of light skin privilege, what benefit is it that someone like a Cardi B admits it? Just so I understand your question.
That's a very good question. So she's basically asking, what's the point? Oh, I'm sorry.
Levi.
Do you know Levi?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was at an event.
Okay. Hi, Levi. Thank you for your question. I I think that the reason why it's important to call out any kind of privilege is to let people know that they have a certain set of advantages over other people in society. I think that there is a history to that light skin versus dark skin that everybody wants to bring up. And I think that what, in the case of Azealia Banks, what she's trying to say is that my dark skinness sets me back in this industry because this industry only promotes people who are lighter skinned or fair skinned. I say this to say Cardi B's publicist said that Tiffany Haddish, SZA, and Kendrick Lamar are all dark skinned individuals in the industry that are successful. And I was like, we were talking and I was thinking, SZA? Tiffany Haddish?
And what I will say to that, what I said before was I thought that I was dark skinned my whole life. I classify myself as a dark skinned person. So not, I don't want to say upon meeting her, but upon discussing it with her in life, she has told me on numerous occasions and other darker people or of your color have been like, no, Charlene, you're not dark skinned.
Hold that thought because Brienne, thank you for bringing this up. Brienne also just said, not sure where y'all are at in this convo, but Azealia also called Cardi B out for calling dark-skinned girls roaches in the past. And this, I think, just brings everything full circle. Light-skinned women, not all, please don't get me wrong. Like, and again, we don't have an issue with light-skinned women. We don't have an issue with being light-skinned versus being dark-skinned. We're really not into that debate. But we do understand that there is a historical significance and that it operates in society much like racism does. And you can't kind of pick one without the other. But I digress. The point is, Cardi B, before she was the Cardi B Bodak Yellow, did not consider her, not that she didn't consider herself, but she didn't promote herself, advertise herself, say that she was a Black woman. If anyone has seen anywhere that Cardi B said, I'm a Black woman, please send me a link.
Sebastian, sorry, go ahead.
And then Jay had a question that we have to get to too. Cardi B has always said, I'm a Latina woman. You know, she has always said, you know, is it my mother is Caribbean, but like passively, at least in the Love and Hip Hop series, which I don't watch, but I've seen clips.
I'm gonna get you a question.
Somebody else brought up the fact in the Shade Room comments, what a good source, that Cardi B only stepped into her Blackness when Bodak Yellow became a hit, when she was engaged to Offset, and now she's immersed in this hip hop culture. Now Cardi B is Black.
No, it's okay, Sebastian.
I say this all to say, and again, like, I'm not trying to get so caught up in the race thing, but I think that it speaks volumes that Cardi B can call other dark-skinned women roaches. You know, like, am I supposed to be flattered by that as a dark-skinned woman? I'm a roach. Yeah, like, no, that's not flattering. I obviously think that she meant it to be hurtful and offensive, but she gets a pass for that because what? She's Cardi B. And that's really like the undertone of what we're trying to get at here.
What's that YouTube link, Rachel? You have to, I can't see the picture, so you might have to just say it to me and I'll click on it in a second. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's not that, you know, being light-skinned is bad, that all light-skinned people need to call out their light-skinned privilege in order to be accepted by the Black community and by the community at large. That's not what we're saying. But Azealia Banks, I think, poorly, distastefully brought up a real issue of colorism in the Black community. And it's so interesting to see how some Black people are just so appalled by that kind of tension, even amongst ourselves.
Who made it clear, Rachel? Rachel said
she made it clear that Latinos, Latino, Latinx people are mixed with African.
Cardi?
Or come from African descent.
Are you talking about Cardi?
Yeah, I think she's talking about Cardi B.
Love.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause you. I just want to read the comment.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Okay, Sebastian raised a point.
Yeah.
A good point. In regards to role model / responsibility topic, what exactly are the responsibilities that someone with influence should assume? Opinions on what being a good role model means are vast and many.
Very good question, Sebastian. And I will answer it this way personally, and then you can jump in and say what you want.
Okay.
I don't think that.
Yeah, she's
obviously.
Okay.
She said yes to Cardi B?
Yes.
Okay, so let me address that first. Let me address Cardi B saying Latin people come from African descent. That's not news to me.
Finally.
That's only news to a lot of people lately, where they're just realizing that Latinx people come from African descent. In fact, a lot of people come from African descent. In fact, all of civilization comes from African descent. But let me not go there. And so she's made it clear, but I would argue, when did she make that clear? It's really not about Cardi B recently stepping into her Blackness, recently stepping into her African connection through her Caribbean mother. It's saying, Cardi, can you acknowledge the simple fact that as a light-skinned woman, you carry a set of privileges over Azalea Banks? If I can hear you say that, I no longer have a case against you.
Yeah, no one is saying you have to sweep up
the
problems of the world.
Nope.
Acknowledge it.
You cannot single-handedly fix colorism, Cardi, but don't act like, because as I said before, this isn't the first time that this was brought up. Like, people have been calling her out, and Cardi B's sister, Cardi B's friend, they'll all like come out and be like, who cares if she's light-skinned? She's still Black. She's still a woman. She still made it. No. For us darker-skinned women, it's important to hear people like Zendaya, people like
Zendaya's,
Yara Shahidi. I think I'm butchering her name. People like, I forget her name, but she was in that
Zoe Kravitz.
I
don't know if she talks. No. I just thought that's who we were talking about.
No, not Zoe, but there's another girl. She has like the piercing here. I forget her name, but you guys know her. Who are light-skinned women who are saying there's a problem in the industry with which types of Black women get which types of roles. And if we were to cross-list that over to music, which kinds of women, because the fact that Cardi B's publicist is saying dark-skinned women like Tiffany Haddish, I'm like, Tiffany Haddish is not dark-skinned though. And I mean, that could be subjective, but I'm a dark-skinned woman, so I feel like I have sway. She addressed it in her environment that she is familiar with, but she get the picture, LOL. Yeah, I do get that picture, but I think a lot of people don't. But going to Sebastian's point, I don't think that my critique is about what kind of role model Cardi could be, because Cardi B's life and the way she lives her life is very different from the way I would live mine. So I'm really in no position to say, well, Cardi B, the way to be a right role model is to do this and to do that and to do that. Yes, Brianne gave you the name, Amanda Steinberg. That is the other person.
Right?
Amanda?
Yeah.
I apologize. Amanda Steinberg. She's another light-skinned woman who says, I know that I get offered more roles and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Sebastian, I don't think that there's a right answer to that or a clear, concise answer to that, because our goal is not to say this is the way Cardi B should be a role model. This is the way she should be responsible for her actions. It's more to say,
acknowledge and listen.
Acknowledge and listen. Acknowledge that you, by default, become an influencer and thus have a responsibility in how you manage that influence. I think that goes without saying. I think that we as fans of these celebrities, we as artist followers, we as artists, as music listeners, as people that watch movies.
I see your comment, Jay, 1 second.
Have a responsibility to hold these people that we follow accountable. Or why are you following them? Why are you listening to them? Why do you listen to their music? Why do you watch their movies? Why do you buy their clothes? If they have no sense of self-preservation to say, I understand the weight of the influence that I carry.
I was literally telling my Periscope people, Jay was in the conversation, literally last night, people need to hold standards for what they support in life.
Yeah.
People don't have no standards. They see somebody on Instagram like, oh my gosh, that girl's so funny.
But why is she funny? Do you ask yourself?
No, but we just quickly just support anything and support anyone and anybody that makes us laugh. That's so funny.
Yeah, like, to me, it's like, you can find Cardi B funny. That's completely fine. But why are you laughing? Like, what has she done that's making you laugh?
Yeah.
You know, and what are you laughing at? Her humor or the caricature type of behavior that she puts on? And again, I know caricature is a very loaded term and I don't say it lightly, but like, ask yourself, why are you... It says you have 1 minute, 32 seconds remaining or something.
Oh, we're about to be back like we never left on Instagram.
Yeah. But why are you laughing at Cardi? Why do you disagree with Azalea? Why do you disagree with Cardi? Like, those are questions you have to ask yourself, really. And so for me, the expectation I have of celebrities is...
not really. Sorry.
It's okay. The expectations of celebrities that I have is that you know that you are a role model to people. You don't get to choose whether you take on that responsibility or not. It's given to you by default. Like, that's just what you are. People watch what you do. And if people are watching what you do, and I feel like that should just be part of like the contract of becoming famous. If you're famous, you are now a role model. Can we look up the definition of role model?
Let's do it.
Because my understanding of it might be different from everybody else's. Did Jay say something though?
Jay said previously, do you guys believe that if a person is viewed as likable in public eye, I have a thought to that, in the public eye, that it distracts people from the errors in their character? Of freaking course. And he also said this is a systematic problem that has plagued our culture for years, and this is more evidence of its existence.
Completely. It's systemic.
Because I was going to say, I had said this, a person looked to by others as an example to be imitated. There it is, folks.
A person looked to by others as an example to be imitated.
So it didn't even say a good influence. So when people are like, I don't want to be a role model, it's not really a choice. You are one.
You become a role model.
You become a role model. There's no choice.
Yeah.
A good role model is debatable.
Right.
I was going to say to Jay's point, and I said this at the beginning of what we were talking about.
Lost your thought. Let me talk, and then let me see if it brings it back for you. So basically, yes, role model doesn't necessarily explicitly say good or bad role model. It's just a role model. I love that it says that people look to you as an example. It's just that simple. As I said earlier, Brianna, I'm going to get to your comment in just 1 second. As I said earlier, if stylists, oh my gosh, the Met Gala.
Let's talk about it.
The Met Gala. But before, let me get to...
Wait, let me say my thought really, really quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we need to have standards of who we support.
Yes.
Okay, as I said before, everyone praises Cardi B for being a real individual. Oh my gosh, she admits that she's a stripper. She's open about, she sleeps with this person. She gives this, that, and the third to this guy. She's so honest. She's so real. Yeah, Cardi. Are you hearing yourselves?
Yeah.
Like, because if I'm like, yeah, you know, I just want to be honest. I'm real. Like, I shoot up heroin. Like, that's just my life. Like, I'm being honest. I'm being real. Should you praise me for this heroin? No, because heroin is not good. Now, debatable what's
Natalie, we're defining role model now. So basically, we read out a definition that says...
She addresses it in... Oh,
yeah, it's the same thing. Can you go back to that definition, though? Role model. Oh. Yeah. So basically, we looked up role model, and it says... a person looked to by others as an example to be imitated. So somebody else asked, what's our definition of a good role model? And then we basically said, it's not that you have to be a good or bad role model. It's that when you become famous, you automatically become a role model because people are looking at you and copying what you do. Aw, your phone died. I was wondering why you left. But hold on, I want to read Brianne's comments out. Back to the colorism issue. She says, for every one dark-skinned person in Hollywood, you can name a handful of light-skinned celebrities. To say that because a few dark-skinned people are doing well is to say to say that because a few dark-skinned people are doing well, that colorism doesn't exist is incredibly inaccurate. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Cuz. Hey, Koja.
I think that's a common thing that people do. Oh, look who's doing well. There's Kendrick, there's SZA, there's who's
Ghana, represent.
There's Kendrick, there's SZA, there's Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Look at those dark-skinned people compared to the thousands of light-skinned people that are doing better.
Right.
Just because you can name 3, that's not even a freaking handful.
Yeah.
That's an embarrassing number. Why are you proud of that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. I had a thought to what you were saying earlier about oh man.
Lost it?
I if you say the thought, I'll remember what I wanted to say.
I was talking about what you support.
Yes.
Have standards of what you support.
Right. So you were saying people laugh at Cardi because Cardi's real, she's transparent, you know, she's in her truth. You know what I mean? Like, she just lives her truth. And I can't knock Cardi for that. And I don't think we're trying to do that. This is not about Cardi's lifestyle choices. It's not about Cardi becoming famous. Like, it's not about anything like that.
Sorry.
But I think that what people truly crave is vulnerability, is transparency, is someone who's relatable. That's really what we want. We want people that we can connect to. And I think that's why people are so passionate about defending Cardi. If you go in the comments on any Cardi post, why is everybody trying to get at Cardi? Why is everyone trying to steal Cardi's shine? Cardi, don't worry, Barty gang, like all this stuff. And why is that? We feel this need to protect Cardi B because she's more real than a lot of these celebrities out there. I think that we talked about the Cardi B versus Beyonce complex. We know Beyonce is great. I know Beyonce is great. But Beyonce isn't relatable in the way Cardi is because Beyonce comes off as this unrelatable person because, you know, she doesn't caption under her post. She doesn't really engage with her fans unless it's in a concert or anything like that.
But just think about what you're supporting and who you're supporting. Like, put some thought into it.
Yeah.
Don't just jump on the bandwagon. Like, just dig a little deeper.
So Kai says, I think that's the problem. The issue has nothing to do with Cardi B and her success, but the convo is being brought up because of her, unfortunately. Exactly. It's not about Cardi's success. I think everybody wants to see Cardi win. Nobody is hoping that Cardi B won't be unsuccessful. That's why when the Nicki Cardi thing was coming up, it was kind of like, but it's why are we even doing this? Like, why can't they both be great? Which is another issue, you know, pitting women against each other. And I think we premised by saying we're not happy with the fact that Azealia Banks and Cardi B are fighting each other. Like, we don't want to see women fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, and I think that's maybe what Azealia Banks' frustration is.
Yeah.
Is that we've supported you this far, Cardi. Yay, we want to see you win, Cardi. Now, what are you doing for us?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. We've supported you this far. You have this platform. And then you want to stand up there and say, I don't want to be nobody's role model.
Yeah.
And this is why we need to think about who we support.
Right.
She doesn't, and this is just a whoever that says that they don't want to be a role model. They're really low-key saying they don't really care to influence you in a good way. They don't care about you. They don't care about your children or your future children. They don't care about your sisters and brothers, and they don't care. So why are you supporting someone that doesn't give a damn?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Think about why you're supporting, but we just want to support anybody that makes us laugh.
Yeah.
I think we are very selective people on who we support.
For sure.
This is why I was talking to also in my Periscope group people about last night. I am just a selective person about who I support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because who I support, who I put on that platform, they influence people around me. They influence my children. They influence.
Yeah.
Let's not just like everything and comment fire emojis on everything and say, yay, we love you, Cardi B.
Yeah.
Think about who you're supporting, who this person is, what their music stands for, what they stand for. Think about it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Think about who you're supporting, but think about why.
I can't stand Azealia, to be honest.
Who said
Beck said. Expand on that.
Expand on that. Because we're saying, I don't think anybody can stand Azealia.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anyone
there's
with
some valid points that she makes.
I don't think anybody with, like, and in my opinion, I say this very lightly, a right mind can say can say Azealia Banks is the realest out here. Her songs are fire. I have no issue with the way she gets at other women, other people. I don't, whatever. I think that we all acknowledge that Azealia Banks is problematic. This is what we were saying. But she's necessary. She's a necessary voice.
And I say, is Azealia Banks problematic because she says some unpopular opinions that people don't want to say?
And is she problematic because she's a dark-skinned woman that says things that people don't want to hear?
Exactly. Why is she problematic? I just want to ask. Her music is dope, but she seems like she's just out to get attention all the time.
Yeah. And I think that has to do with her track record. Because all you do is comfort people. Yeah. Sacrificing animals. Good. Yeah, good. You're sacrificing animals.
Sorry.
And you're coming for people. By coming for people, I mean you're attacking people, you're pulling them down, you're dragging them down. And it can come off as attention seeking. But it's important not to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly.
In saying that, okay, Azealia, you're in this category of...
Because she could be seeking for attention because she's hurt.
Yeah.
That the whole dark skin, light skin oppression works against her.
And I think that it's something that really plagues like Azealia Banks. Like this colorism issue is something that has bothered her from the... I remember Azealia Banks from 212. Like, do you remember that song or whatever? Like, it was when she was coming out and Iggy Azalea was coming out.
Will the shower disturb you guys? Yes, Shadona. Go and shower in the other washroom.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Or don't shower yet. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and she was, I think, fine in her dark skin.
And yeah, isn't she a witch?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Sacrificing animals. So again, we're saying
But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. She could be a witch. She could be annoying. She could be attention seeking. However, is there truth there?
Is there truth?
Let's take the person, and this is going back to what Jay said, right? Like, the person's character, you know, affects the way we look at their opinion or whatever. Let's just take people's opinions for what they are.
Yeah. Let's just take people's opinions for what they are. And let's be okay with different opinions. We can not be
sacrifices animals.
She sacrificed. Yeah, she was like, ugh. Like they had this picture that went viral of like blood all up in her closet. It was really weird.
She done it for you.
But what was I saying?
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yes, let's be okay with different ideas. Let's have or take issue with the way those ideas are put out there. I don't appreciate the way Azealia Banks is trying to embarrass and demean Cardi B on this national platform. Why not have a private conversation? Why do it on social media
to her with some intellect?
Yeah,
and not calling out her physical
flaws. Call her out on the Breakfast Club, which we know is a very popular radio station that people like tune into? Why do all that? So Azealia Banks, you're questionable. Like I've been saying, like your approach is weird. Yes, thumbs up.
We should order.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, and this is not ordered.
Order food, yeah.
Is that? We can only order like pizza.
We can order pizza.
Do you want pizza?
I want feta.
You want feta?
I want feta. I was actually thinking about Burrito Boys too.
For real?
Yeah, but you had it already.
I did.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
so
this
hard.
is irrelevant.
Okay, sorry guys.
So do you want a pizza?
Yeah, I want pizza.
Okay, after you show us what to order.
Okay.
Entertain the peeps.
Okay.
Oh, well, I think you went over the hour, maybe? No, you're gonna lose them.
How do I press save?
Oh, if you want them to watch, yeah. And you can go back to I never left. Shitty.
Sorry guys. So yeah, any other comments? Concerns? I feel like I wish that I just wish that Cardi B would just not dismiss what Azealia Banks is saying, but at the same time, what else are you gonna do if what else are you gonna do if someone's attacking you so openly? Okay, Nate says, have you seen This Is America? Childish Gambino? Yes, I have. And I think that that video is so needed, so necessary, so refreshing. It was completely woke, like in every sense of the word. I think that this is it though. Like exactly how we're talking about Cardi B versus Iggy Azalea. It's a distraction from like the real issues of life, right? I mean, it's important to talk about because it has real issues embedded in the conversation: colorism, patriarchy, you know, the issue of pitting women against women, social responsibility, role models, all of that we're thinking about and talking about. However, Childish Gambino, I feel like Childish Gambino is what Kanye wants to be. Do you know what I mean? But Kanye is just too deep in the sunken place to really like, to really get in touch with,
the delusion.
Yeah, and I was saying earlier, like Kanye is another conversation that we can have, but I kind of see where Kanye's coming from, but he's in the sunken place. He's in the sunken place. That's just where he is. Drew Beck said, Gambino is being accused of being fake woke by some. Really? So Drew Beck just said that Childish Gambino is accused of being fake woke. Why is that? Can you expand on that? Childish Gambino, because Nate asked about This Is America. Anyways, there are so many things in This Is America that I can get into that I loved about the video. The fact that all the walls, hey, Shadona.
I'm here as
a filler?
A filler until Charlene comes back.
Okay, this is Shadona, Charlene's sister.
Continue.
Nate says, hey, Shadona.
Hey.
The fact that all the walls and pillars were white, I feel like is and I could be reaching here, but I think it's a a dig to white supremacy and just being surrounded by whiteness.
Have you caught all the hidden
Not all of them.
Which ones have you caught?
Okay, so I caught the white walls, the white pillars, white supremacy.
So sorry. Feta cheese. What else?
Pineapple.
Pineapple on. Okay.
So did you catch the Jim Crow stance?
Oh, Nathan, I apologize. Because your name says Nate, so I thought it was Nathan. Nathan says, hey, Shadona.
Hey. Have you caught the Jim Crow stance?
Yes.
Have you caught the man on the white horse?
Okay, can you explain that one to me?
Let me explain.
The man on the white horse. I heard about that one.
So it's
Nathan Mensawi Aganani. Sorry, guys. I went to Chi.
If you read Revelations,
yeah,
death on a white horse is mentioned.
Oh.
All dressed in, I believe he was a black man, all dressed in black. I don't remember, and he's on a white horse, and it's mentioned of death and how he's leading chaos. So when he's going off, there's chaos following behind him.
That's so interesting.
Yes.
Charlene keeps coming in and out of the room. Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Drew Beck says some things. Okay, because his wife is white, kid is half, and some of his old stuff seemed anti-woke, plus dark-skinned stereotypes on his show, Atlanta. That's Nathan Mensa, Nathan Elijah, and Rash. Oh, okay. And Rish. Ghana all the way. Hey, well, hey, Nathan. Okay.
I make one more point before I leave about that video. Also, did you get the choir reference?
The choir. So the shooting that happened in the church?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see the man that jumps from the balcony?
I didn't see the man jumping out the balcony.
And I looked up the first time.
I saw.
Everybody's watching the dancing, but no one's watching what's happening in America. This is America.
That's what I said. Everybody just wants to go.
I understood like the dancing as a distraction. So you're saying the man on the white horse is basically from the book of Revelation in the Bible, where he is leading chaos. So chaos follows. I didn't see the man jumping off the balcony. The kid on the phone recording everything happening. That was like super interesting as well. But Drew Becks, who's an artist here in Toronto.
Shout out to Drew Becks. His album coming out.
He says that Childish Gambino is problematic. That's he doesn't say it, but he says people have said that Childish Gambino is problematic because, I didn't know Nathan was Ghanaian.
This is Nathan.
Which Nathan?
Nathan from church. Nathan and Elijah. Youth Nathan and Elijah.
Oh, Nathan! Nathan, why didn't you say it was you? I thought it was like somebody else.
Thank you, Charlene.
Obviously, I know you're Ghanaian. You're so funny. Anyway, yeah. Yes, Drew Becks. I'm sorry about that. I tried to clarify. I don't mean to say that Drew Becks thinks that Childish Gambino is problematic.
People think.
He is just saying that people have said that Childish Gambino is problematic because like he's married to a white woman.
Wait.
I didn't know
he's married to a white woman? Maybe that's why on the Breakfast Club, nothing wrong with being married to another race. On the Breakfast Club, I think they said like, can you be pro-black? And I had this conversation with somebody. I think
this was with the cast of white people.
I don't remember. Maybe.
Okay.
I had to talk because the Grapevine did it.
Oh, yeah. The Grapevine.
Can you be pro-black? And actually, someone gave me a good perspective. It was actually Lavoisier gave me a good perspective on that.
Sorry, Nathan. I didn't know you were trying.
Married to a white woman.
I see you though.
Can you be pro-black and be married to another race? I heard a perspective again.
My goodness.
That says
I don't even want to get into that right now.
People say that like. What makes this person that's married to another race less pro-black than you? Like, you know what I mean? That this person and Childish Gambino and his white wife could be doing so much for the black community in the hoods, feeding the homeless, this, that, and the third. And you could be married to a black person and sitting on the couch and making Instagram memes. You cannot say you're pro. Like, what's the definition of being pro-black is the question. So yes, I guess I don't know. That's just the opinion that I heard.
So Brianne says, the issue comes when you're dating another race due to self-hate.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then people question and say, when you date another race, it's out of self-hate. Like, who's going to admit you're dating a race out of self-hate?
Yeah.
Like, who's to say yes or no?
I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I struggle with this topic.
That was just a perspective. That's
it's a perspective.
Yeah,
it's not your opinion.
Busted Drew Becks.
Yeah,
that's not my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Hi, Kid Cloud.
You just check your Facebook.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
I don't think nobody's saying nothing. Yeah, so I didn't know that about Childish Gambino. I still think, though, while those facts are interesting,
people just want to make a problem out of the truth. Nathan says.
People just want to make a problem out of the truth. What's the problem, Nathan? What are you saying the problem is?
Oh, I think he's trying to say the truth is here. Let's make a problem. I don't want to believe it. Let's make an uproar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think it was directed to the black white thing.
Okay.
I think it's a general. Is that what you meant, Nathan?
This is America is a time. Like, I think that video will fall into like one of the most classic videos of our time. Like, I really think. But I want to see because, you know, there are music videos on YouTube that are past 1 billion views.
Yeah, the reggaeton.
Yeah, reggaeton.
So why not?
Yeah,
because we support foolishness. But then again, we know the world.
Yeah, we know the world. But I'm interested to see like how many views is this video gonna get? Not that views or numbers mean anything to me because I'm not about that. I think that This Is America has already made a cultural impact in a way that not a lot of videos have. So that's dope. But yeah,
that was unnoticed. Okay, no, I noticed you.
This Is America is like a classic video. Though if somebody can explain the very, very end to me, that would be good. I didn't really understand it. I'm not saying that like to say I don't understand why it's there. It's that I truly didn't understand what he was trying to say in that messaging. It's the scene where he's running and then all these people are running behind him too. And I was trying to figure out like, are they chasing him? He was running away from the cops. There are 2 meanings. Okay, so there's 2 meanings to the end.
Educate us, peeps. Educate us.
Yeah, so we're talking about This Is America, the end scene when he's running. It looked like they were all running together, but then it also looked like he was running away at the same time. So somebody said, Kid Cloud, he was running away from the cops. And it shows him running away from the problems of America.
Or that he wants to run. That could be, that's good.
Okay. I like that too. Yeah. That's a good one. So Ryan says, slaves running to freedom, the Underground Railroad.
So 2 different takes here.
That's interesting.
Hey, Juice.
The Underground Railroad. Oh, it's Elijah.
No.
Yeah, that's the second meaning.
Yeah.
So it's Elijah. Kid Cloud is Elijah.
Oh.
Hey, Elijah. Hey, Nathan.
Elijah. I miss you guys so much.
Plantation mans are chasing him. Okay.
Plantation mans.
Right. Yeah, that's, wow.
Oh, thank you.
That's really dope.
Nathan.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want us to talk about that you're interested in hearing our insights on?
You want to talk about?
I don't know. So does that resolve the Cardi B Azalea Banks?
I think so.
If anyone asks you what your opinion is on that, you need to tell them that it's not that simple, that it's very complicated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's deeper.
I thought it was zombie apocalypse.
What for what?
For the end of season.
That's zombie apocalypse.
For the
maybe. That's 3 different things.
Ryan wants us to talk about feminism.
You want us to go off, Ryan.
You want us to go off.
Go off, go off.
Oh, I thought it was zombie apocalypse. They're all unwoke or undead. No, that could be a thing too, though. I think that's the beauty of the video, is that it's open to interpretation. You just don't know what the clear vision was. It's so
people at the top. People at
Drew Beck shrugged. No, I feel you, Drew Becks.
So Nathan's saying people saying the N-word and white people. So we can touch on both topics.
White people.
Can you guys talk about Avengers?
Avengers?
Let me plug in my phone. Shona says no.
People.
Oh, Shona didn't see it yet.
All right, okay, so we're getting questions. Are people allowed to say the N-word? That's complicated.
And who was it that just said? Where the heck is my?
Ryan said he wants us to talk about feminism. Do you think it's ruining the male brain?
Feminism?
Brianne says, if we're going to talk about feminism, I think you need to discuss womanism. Yes, we do.
Oh, we're discussing it all, baby.
And then someone says, can you talk about Avengers? Sorry, not someone. Levi says, can we talk about Avengers?
We can't talk about Avengers because my sister is a serious fan and she hasn't seen it.
Well, I'm wondering, what do you want us to talk about?
How serious of a fan are you? Couldn't be. I'm just joking.
What kind of talk do you want?
I'm just joking. Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of talk do you want us to, like, what do you want us to say about Avengers if we were to talk about that? Who is Ryan? Ryan is my friend. So right now we have a little setup here. All our screens are on and he's asking questions from my Instagram live. I went to high school with Ryan. He's dope. Yeah. Don't talk about the Avengers. Too depressing.
Okay, we're not talking about the Avengers.
The Avengers was pretty sad, but it was a well-done movie. Oh, what does he say?
Stop. We can't talk about it. We're not talking about it.
She hasn't seen the movie. Yes, I'm so sorry.
We're done.
We cannot talk about the Avengers because someone near us has not seen the movie yet.
My sister's very passionate about these things.
Hey, Ryan. Very passionate.
So I'm sorry, Levi. Okay, so
sorry, Levi. We can't talk about it due to the fact that she hasn't seen it yet.
We're going to talk about feminism. We need to make a decision and be a little more decisive in life.
Oh my goodness. I was interested in the N-word.
Oh, you want to do the N-word?
Well, that's a good question.
My brain needs to take a break from race. I'm sorry.
We cannot take a break from race. We don't get to take breaks. Just joking.
No, this is true. You're right.
Thanks for the shout out. Right. You know it, Ryan. You're dope.
Okay.
I love you.
We can talk about the N-word. We have to have a limit here.
We have to have a limit.
We can really talk forever.
We have to leave soon.
We have to leave.
We have to leave. No, I'm serious. Like, we have to say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
What time? 9:30. People need to go and do things.
But they want us to talk about topics,
I know, but they want us to talk forever. We have things that we have to do. We have to record another podcast. Guys, I think this is a really good time.
While we're recording the podcast, we're going to be on the scope.
Are we?
Should we not? I thought we were incorporating the call.
Okay. So obviously we have some discussing to do.
Oh my God.
But I think Levi's saying some stuff. Andrew Betts.
Okay, just watch the Rachel Divide on Netflix.
I watched the Rachel Divide.
It was interesting. What is that?
Rachel Divide. Rachel Dolezal. Am I saying her last name right? Do you guys remember Rachel Dolezal? No. She's the white woman who was pretending to be black.
Oh.
Was chapter of the Spokane NAACP in Washington. Mm-hmm. And there's a documentary on Netflix. Look her up, Rachel Dolezal, if you don't know her. Netflix, oh, no, you guys are talking about important things.
People don't want us to leave. We're about to eat pizza in you guys' faces.
No, we're not going to eat the pizza in their faces.
I'm sorry. It's a sensitive thing. Okay.
No, I'm very I don't like to eat. Okay, I'm sorry. I was having a meltdown. I was having a meltdown, but I'm okay. I'm sorry. She's caught me off guard. So this is a lot. Okay, but hey, I just wanted to say to you guys, we really appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to us talk. And we love that you guys are talking with us.
Yeah, please.
We love that. Hey, Marnie. We love that you guys are talking with us and dropping ideas and responding and giving us topics to talk about. And we are starting a podcast. We just recorded our first one today. And it's going to be coming out in June of this year. As Charlene corrected me, next month. And we're just so excited to like talk about like the deep stuff of life. And I feel like this group that we have going on here is like super woke, super into talking past the artificial, the
woke
superficial.
Is for lack of better words.
Woke is for lack of better words. I know I don't really like saying the word woke. It feels so trendy.
It does.
But anyway, people that like to think deep and think analytically about life.
Collab. We would love to have people collab one day. Sorry,
Ryan. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have like guests come on the
young, old,
people,
black,
white. Yeah, Ryan, I haven't forgotten your question. Bree, I haven't forgotten your tidbit on talking about feminism and womanism, maybe highlighting the difference. Ryan, you want to know if feminism ruins the male brain, though.
For sure.
And then
bye, Drew. We would love to have you on
Drew.
one day for sure.
Yes, Drew. Did Drew say he wants to be on our podcast?
I think that's what he's trying to say. He said, if y'all need an interview, let me know. I think that's
what?
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
And then Nathan or Elijah.
Yes. Jay, for sure. We would love people to clock in digitally too.
Yes.
Digitally?
Yeah, digitally. Virtually.
My posture's bad. Virtually.
Yes, Jay, I like the way you think. So we
could have gotten more and more reckless.
Have we? Yeah. What's Drew's name? Drew's name is Drew Bex. He's on Instagram as Drew Bex, DRUBEX. He's an artist.
Or YouTube.
Or Twitter. I don't know. And then you guys wanted to know if... Are you guys asking if anyone can say the N-word?
Oh, you mean beats type collab? You make beats, Elijah? Let me hear. Sorry, go ahead. We're going to talk about the N-word.
If everyone can say the N-word, or if like just Black people should be able to say the N-word. I'm of the opinion that no one should say the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also of the opinion that if anyone was to say the N-word, it should just be Black people.
Because and mind you, we have this opinion, but we say the N-word.
We say the N-word. We do.
But we say it in context of
context specific.
Friends and family.
Friends and family. Bree, discuss white feminism in one of your podcasts, please. Bree, duh!
White feminism.
And Bree, I would love to have you on as a guest on our podcast too, because Bree has some like really dope ideas. You've actually met her.
Yeah, before. I remember.
Yeah, Bree is a super deep thinker.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, like the difference between womanism, I consider myself more a womanist than a feminist, but stay tuned for what that means. Make sure you guys post the link to your podcast. Most definitely.
It's in terms of endearment, Jay says.
Jay, it can be a I think the N-word has evolved into something more communal for Black people.
But it doesn't mean that white people get to say it.
It does not mean that
therefore we should probably all not say it. We are guilty of saying it.
Yeah.
But we should probably all not say it.
Yeah. And we're going to definitely do a podcast on this, though there's two important things that I think
make sure you post a link to your podcast.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you so much, Levi.
For sure, Levi. Thank you for considering listening.
There's two things. There's a really
Nathan. So we should all not say it.
Yeah. If white people can't say the N-word, we're just dividing our races apart.
Yeah. We should all not say it.
We should all not say it. But there's a video of a guy. I'll definitely be able to name him in our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But he has this video that went viral where basically he was explaining that white people want to have and own everything. And that includes the N-word.
Mm-hmm. And that was a good video.
It was an amazing video. And then when you tell a white person, and I don't mean a white person generally, I mean a specific type of white individual that that I don't want to automatically say that appropriates our culture or whatever, but I'm trying to say white people that are okay with saying the N-word, those types of people.
Mm-hmm. I think he left, Nathan. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, Drew Bex left the thing. As soon as you tell those kinds of white people that they can't have something anymore, there's all this uproar and chaos. Are we picking it up or are they coming?
No, they're coming.
Oh, okay. There's all this uproar and backlash and why can't we have this word? You guys say it. It's in all our favorite songs. When in reality, that word isn't yours.
It's not yours. But and he was trying to say white people are not used to us saying
you can't have it.
Yeah, or people saying you can't do something, even though we've been told that for X amount of years.
Yeah. And so the argument is that, well, white people came up with the word. White people came up with the N-word.
In a bad way. Why are you proud of that?
They're saying, but we came up with the word, and if we came up with it, we should be able to say it too, kind of thing.
You can't, but yeah, no. But you came up with it. It was bad. We took it now because you use it against us, and we're using it for good.
Yeah, and I think that there's lots of examples of people reclaiming words that were once offensive and using it affectionately towards other people. Mm-hmm. Another word that I can think of as an example is the B word. Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen that other viral video of the Black woman who's sitting in her car?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No. I paused because I'm trying to like regroup my thoughts, not because you say something. A black woman, she's sitting in her car and she's talking about all the different ways that you can use the B word. I'm not saying that I use the B word.
But if black people say it for good, why can't white people say it?
Because it's always important that you look at the history of words. People want to forget history. Like history was one of my favorite classes in high school. People forget the historical context of what defaults you from being able to use a word. And so when black people say the N-word, we don't say it in the same way that white people would have said it in the 18, 17, 1600s when they were using it to oppress, keep black people enslaved. You know what I mean? Like there's a history, a nuanced, very multi-layered history behind why and how white people use the N-word. When they use the N-word, and I don't believe that a white person can use the N-word affectionately, because I think that, what am I trying to say? I think that white people, my thought is jumbled in my brain. So
say what you said before again?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, when white people use the N-word, I don't think that there is a way to use that word affectionately, because here's what I'm trying to say. The trauma that black people still experience from slavery, even though it was 100 years ago, is still so real and lived that if a white person was to call me the N-word, I'm still feeling and experiencing the legacy of slavery. You know what I'm saying? So you, white person, cannot call me or use the N-word on me in an affectionate manner, because to me, I'll hear is the oppression and the discrimination. Yes, Brienne. Brienne says white people don't have the same lived experiences as we have. And that automatically rules you out from being able to use that word.
And what I will say is, why, white people, are you really fighting me to use this word? Right. Keep that same energy when black people are being oppressed. I hope you keep that same energy when I ask you about other issues of life. Why are you fighting to say a word? If the word is controversial, if it hurts some of us, just don't say it. It's not that hard.
Exactly what Shar said. It's, if you want to be able to say the N-word, then you need to be able to march with us when a black boy is shot innocently.
Exactly. And don't tell me what, no, all lives matter. Keep that same energy, but you want to use the N-word.
You can't say all lives matter and have the N-word in your mouth at the same time. Like, that is the hypocrisy that we're talking about. So you also can't give people around you a pass to say the N-word. I will always call out a non-black person, not a person of color, not a non-person of color. Because to me, East Asian people can't say the word. South Asian people can't say the word.
Asian people be saying the word.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, if you're a person of color, you don't get a pass.
Bye, Levi.
Bye, Levi. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
Everyone needs to go and, get ready for the night. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Make sure you remember.
Oh, dang. I would have straight forgotten.
You would not. Yes. You were with me when we bought the flowers.
But it has left my mind. I would have went to sleep.
Anyways, love, we're going to be leaving soon. But did I say anyways, love?
People treated unfairly in court than white people. Completely.
Exactly, Nathan. Yes, keep the same energy. That racism is so systematically entrenched. And by entrenched, I mean integrated, interwoven, embedded in our everyday practices, in our everyday habits, in the way that we live our lives. Like, as a person of color, as a black person in particular, and I'm not trying to put more emphasis on blackness than other persons of color, but as a person of color, you live and breathe overt or covert discrimination because of your color. And so I don't want to go on a race tangent, but I do want to say you need to keep the people around you who are not black accountable if you hear them say the N-word, because that's not their word. They no longer own that word. Really, they never did, but that's another story.
J-Rep, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you repeat that again, please?
What part don't you understand? I said a lot of things. Which part?
No. Sorry. I'm saying I don't understand him.
Oh, okay. What is he saying?
Mind you ain't.
Fit in? Mind you ain't. Oh, are you trying to say that white people use the word to try and fit in?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think there are other ways to fit in, though. I think there are more important and more and more significant ways to fit in.
Yes.
With me as we walk for the Black Lives Matter march.
Exactly.
Come fit in with me there.
But you just want to fit in with me because you can't say the N-word to your favorite Kendrick Lamar song. It's just keep that energy. Your passion is misguided.
Right. Brianne said that these systems were created when we were deemed 3/5 of a person by the law.
Completely.
Exactly. And that's why white people, non-Black people should not be able to use the N-word. And it's so interesting. I don't know if you guys are aware of the artist named Anime. Is his name Anime?
Mm-hmm.
Anime. He performed at Coachella, and he I won't say obviously, but he uses the N-word in his songs. But while he was performing at Coachella, he would say, instead of saying the N-word, he would say, if you're Black, don't say it. He says, if you're not Black,
who said that?
Anime.
He said, if you're not Black, don't say it.
Yeah. So instead of saying the N-word, because his audience was predominantly like white or non-persons of color, instead of saying the N-word, he would say, if you ain't Black, don't say it at that part.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. And people weren't saying it. Like, you would hear like that part of where the N-word would come in, the audience wouldn't say it.
So would he say that phrase in that space?
Yes. So instead of saying he would say, if you ain't Black, don't say it. Like, he would just cut up. I'll show you after this. It's so good. It's so good. And so I can appreciate artists like Anime that do the work of understanding, okay, the N-word is a word that just can't go away. It's like curse words. It's kind of like some people find it inappropriate. Some people, it's a part of their everyday speech.
That's why I don't, honestly, not to get into I don't honestly super spiritual or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like when certain Christians try to fight for a swear word and be like, well, swear words are not really this culture. Why are you fighting to swear?
Yeah.
There's just other issues in the world.
And we're talking about people who like are Christian. So if you don't like fall in that category, or if you don't feel like this applies to you, that's completely fine too. Yeah. But it's true. It's like, we're Christians, we don't really feel like we have to curse.
We have to swear.
But people want to fight us on that. And
some Christians are like, it's okay to curse and whatever. Right or wrong, it's just, I don't feel like it's that deep. Right. That you want to fight me to swear.
And the same line of thinking, I don't think it's that deep or that important for you to fight
say the N-word.
Why do you want to say the N-word so bad? Why are we arguing?
Exactly, about you saying that. Just don't say it.
And Bree knows this because we know some people that be using the N-word out of turn. Out of turn. And we do not hesitate to call people out on it because that's what you're supposed to do. You know? So there's that. What are bigger issues? Man, I wish this was in... I was in the room with you guys. There's only so much you can say behind a desktop.
I know, Nathan. We should have workshops and sessions in life. We talked about that time in life.
Bree said, don't even get me started.
We're going to go on. Let me just not be extra now.
Yeah.
We're going to go
Nathan,
on tour.
No, that's a really good idea. You know, we actually thought about wanting to do something small.
Or big. If we're talking about idealism, I would love, okay, I don't know about everybody else, but I would love, I don't want to say I would love, I'm going to one day, we're going to one day. Go on a tour that involves music, maybe like a concert mixed with workshops, speaking sessions, all that kind of stuff incorporated. Yeah. It's going to be lit.
But yeah, don't forget about the podcast.
Don't forget about the podcast.
The podcast is coming next month.
I'm so
down. And please, feel free to tell us topic ideas. So far, I got feminism, womanism, and how men operate in that, or how they exist in that. Avengers. The N-word. Using the N-word. Who gets to use the N-word? We can talk about women in the industry. We have so many good topics, but we also want to talk about like emotional education. How do you manage anger? How do you manage jealousy? How do you communicate feelings? Why do we communicate at all? Anything else?
No. Okay. I'm hungry.
I'm starving. I should have told you to get a drink.
I have juice downstairs though.
You do? I don't want to take up your juice.
No, it's fine.
No,
it's okay.
Okay.
I feel like the pizza's taking a little long though.
I'm so down. Yeah, that's amazing. Mental health in the Black community. Oh, Bree. Yes.
That's a great topic.
It's a
Bree.
great
You should be
topic.
writing that down. That's a great topic.
Yeah, well, I think we were definitely going to get to
We
that.
wrote that down.
We did write that down. Mental health, specifically in the Black community, for sure. I know. But yeah, I think this is a good time to say goodbye. Again, thank you guys so much for listening.
We love you guys so much.
In the podcast that we recorded today, we were talking about how people's attention span is so short. People's attention span is so short now. We're so used to bite-sized clips and 10-second clips, like 30 seconds. If something's a minute, we don't know how to sit down and just be able to talk, to be able to listen, to be able to share ideas, to be able to feel, to be able to express opinions that are different from somebody else's, or to even express the fact that we have the same views as something. And so we just want to bring that back. Like, we want to bring listening back. We're bringing listening back.
We're bringing listening back.
Like Justin Timberlake brought sexy back.
The mother.
Don't know how to
I said other, not mother.
Yeah. And so, yeah, please, we hope that you enjoyed our session today. We hope that you listen to our podcast and give us feedback on how to improve and everything like that. Love you so much, Bree. Thank you for staying and listening, Bree, and adding to the conversation, Bree. I appreciate you so much. I'm probably going to come to Sephora next week, so tell me when you're working. But I won't expose the location. But thank you, Bree, for listening. Thank you to everyone on Charlene's Instagram live right now. So who do we have? J Rep 7, and there's somebody else.
We'll never know.
How do you see?
There's only 2.
There's 2 people. Levi left.
I don't think you can.
Bree, what?
Oh, Nemo.
Oh, Nemo. Hey, Nemo. Thank you for staying.
Thanks for watching.
Bree, you have a new job? You left Sephora, or you got something else to add? So I'm only at Sephora once a week. Oh, okay. True.
Stop with
that's
Sephora
so good.
gossip. The gossip.
Bree, that's so good. I'm so glad, as you know.
How the heck do I press enter?
Thank you, Charlene's Facebook.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you guys.
No. How do you see who's still watching on Facebook?
There's nobody.
Oh, dry.
Yo, when people say dry, it's such an old school term. Yeah. It's funny every time.
Dry.
Yo, dry.
Okay. Bye, Bree. Thank you so much.
Bye, Bree. What else is up in here? Bye, J Rep. Thank you for watching. Jay, Elijah, and Nathan.
Elijah, Jay.
What is this?
Thank you so much for listening and for staying with us. We appreciate you guys. I'm going to be at church tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm not going to be at church. At that church.
She'll be at a different church.
Press enter. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, I'm a freaking
what?
Fool. Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, and so just to like wrap everything up, Azealia Banks is right. Cardi B is right. Azealia Banks is wrong. Cardi B is wrong. N-word for Black people, though preferably not at all. And podcast coming next month.
Thank you guys so much. Love you guys so much. Drop comments. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
And I'm releasing new music soon. Okay, bye.
It's really good when everyone laughs.
I know. When the numbers go up. You just drop that album cover.
Right?
But before we start.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you guys. We wait till